Welcome back to the Crypto's Key Conversation. We're going to quickly jump into CoinGecko here. We're currently sitting at a $1.98 trillion market cap, currently down 1% for the day. Looking at the top 10 here, Bitcoin sitting at 41,704, Ethereum sitting at 3,000, Tether's Tether, Binance Coin sitting at 413, Solana sitting at 113, Cardano sitting at $1.12, XRP sitting at 67 cents, DOT sitting at $21, and Terra sitting at $54. And as you can see, we still have a lot of green. We've had a lot of upside within the past couple of days. Coming over here to the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, we're sitting at a whopping 37 in that fear range. So this is massive, the highest we've been for some time now. So as you can see, there's a little bit more positivity and optimism within the space. I wanted to start this video off going over the digital asset investors tweet here. In our recent video from yesterday, we were talking about how the digital asset investor was like, okay, you know, you're so-called set out to protect investors, but you're allowing them to invest in Bitcoin when you don't know, quotes, you don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Like, what if he is one entity or a body of governments or people or organization that's truly a bad actor, you know? So you're allowing the investors to invest in it, and what if they, you know, go ahead and just dump it on the market? You know, is that really truly protecting investors? But he also put up this. He goes, how can the SEC protect Ethereum investors without knowing who the disguised whales are? So let's take a listen in.
Will there be a limit on the amount that a person could invest in Ethereum?
A person can buy from any number of different identities. We may limit the size, the unit size of a sale, just to make it easier to disguise. Let's say if you're a whale and you want some privacy, you can buy 50,000 units, and so nobody scares people with an enormous initial purchase. So if you are a whale, if you are planning on investing several million US dollars worth, then you can do that for multiple identities. We will ask for a real-world identity in the form of email address, just so that we can make sure that everything works smoothly the whole way through the process. But we won't be requiring it. So we can create a pseudonymous email and identity and purchase them.
Will there be?
So yeah, long story short is like, okay, yeah, if these disguised whales don't, if they're not known, you know, how do we know that they're not going to dump? How are we going to track what's happening? Obviously, you have the blockchain, right? But it's just like, can you truly protect, you know, Ethereum investors? So he brought up a good point here. I wanted to come over here and touch on this video, and we've heard this before. This is from Real XRP Boy, but we're talking about decentralization and how, like, is it truly known? Is the word truly understood when it comes to our SEC? So let's take a listen into this.
As an example, Hinman's speech where he talked about decentralization really scared me because I don't think we know what that word means. And to hear someone from the SEC using that word as a metric for something is really frightening to me, because we really have no clue what that word means. We don't know how to measure it. There are lots of different types.
This is probably the intellectual
So that's coming from one of the digital asset investors' tweets in his videos. But yeah, it's just like if it's truly not understood and you're throwing it around as if you understand it, and you're trying to, you know, regulate by enforcement with it, and you don't understand what's truly decentralized and what isn't, how are you going to fairly and justly, you know, regulate this space? All you're going to do is hinder its progress, which is clearly happening with the Ripple versus SEC stuff, and you're affecting the so-called investors that you're set out to protect. So I just wanted to throw that up. I want to thank Real XRP Boy for throwing that up. So we talked about this in our previous videos. Ripple and XRP holders given a great sign from Judge Torres. Judge Annalisa Torres is back in action, and she favors public disclosure, which should favor Ripple, as judge will have the final say in the deliberative privilege issue. So we covered here, this is from James K. Flynn. We covered what had happened. So he says, in today's ruling, Judge Torres ordered 3 documents unsealed now. This is 172.1, the notice of Brad Garlinghouse's deposition in the SEC formal investigation, Chris Larson's email string, and then Brad Garlinghouse's email. So I want to go over this tweet thread from Johnny Deaton, kind of covering his perspective on kind of what's going on. So he says, XRP itself is a security per se. Although designated amicus counsel, I have not yet been privy to the non-publicly disclosed or sealed documents that have been exchanged between the parties or filed with the court. Coming down here, he says, for some time now, I've been troubled as to why the SEC wouldn't stipulate that XRP itself, including the secondary market XRP, are not securities. After reading these emails and anticipating what the 2012 legal memos likely state, I may finally understand why the SEC won't stipulate the token itself isn't a security, a stipulation which would rid the SEC of amicus counsel along with its 64,000 XRP holders. When I filed the motion to intervene or in the alternative be granted amicus status, Ripple informed the court that if the SEC agreed XRP wasn't a security per se, #XRP holders lacked standing to participate. If, however, the SEC intended to argue XRP itself is a security, Ripple argued XRP holders should be allowed to participate in the case. The SEC not only refused to stipulate XRP itself isn't a security, but actually argued all XRP are illegal securities. I've always questioned why. The unsealed emails and legal memos are barely relevant. Any illegal securities offerings analysis focus on the promises and inducements made by the promoter to investors, leading those investors to anticipate profits from the efforts of the promoter. Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson emails or legal were not made public. It will be near impossible to prove any real correlation between XRP price and public announcements by Ripple partnerships. The SEC must also prove Garlinghouse and Larson sold XRP in the U.S. In reality, the SEC's case may be so weak and desperate that it believes the only way to win is to prove that XRP itself is a security per se. The SEC, in essence, is asserting a but-for theory in this case. For example, the SEC asserts, Ripple created a secondary market for XRP. Therefore, all XRP, including XRP trading in the secondary market, are investment contracts with Ripple. In short, but for Ripple creating a secondary market, there would be no secondary market XRP. And then he referenced this, what was stated in the document here. So coming down here, he says, Judge Torres herself recognized the broad, over-encompassing theory made by the SEC. And he's referencing it here. You can go in and take a look at it. And then coming down here, he says, if the SEC has difficulty proving Garlinghouse and Larson sold XRP within the jurisdiction of the United States and the quality of evidence against Ripple and its executives are represented in these two emails, the SEC might just believe its best theory is the but-for theory. He says, it's a stretch to say the least, but if the SEC were to be successful with the novel but-for test, although trying to disguise it within the Howey test, all crypto is in danger. So coming down here, XRP Tag had commented said, the SEC is truly unhinged. So I wanted to touch on, obviously, we've covered a lot of this throughout our past videos. And, based on all the evidence that's been surfacing and, what's going on with the class action lawsuit and all the documents and stuff that's been released and video footage that's been released when it comes to, William Hemmons and, the Ethereum free pass stuff and everything that's just been surfacing. I just wanted to cover this, what he said here. He says, all crypto is in danger, because there was a video I came across. Real XRP boy had posted this on his tweet thread here, and this Chris Larson, and he's kind of talking about that same topic. So let's listen in.
It's a perplexing thing. XRP has been out there now for over 8 years, traded all over the world, 200 exchanges. Depending on which site you use, it's the number 3 in terms of market cap. It's an established currency. And it was actually declared formally a currency by the Treasury Department, FinCEN, in a settlement back in 2015, which to us, that was crystal clear. This is a currency. And as a currency, it's exempt from regulation under the SEC. That should be as a commodity, a currency, and under the CFTC. So certainly to me, that seemed crystal clear. But, I think, again, these are new things, even though they've been around for a while. And I know the regulators are well-intentioned. But it's kind of this fight on, hey, who owns the regulation of this industry? And that's fine. But, what they should be doing is making clear new rules. These are new technologies. And I think a bit of the problem is trying to fit something like blockchain and interoperability protocols and cryptocurrencies, trying to fit that into rules that were established 7 decades ago. I think that's a recipe for things going badly for the United States. So I think the hope is that we get really clear rules that again protect consumers and innovators. But I'll tell you this: I think this suit is not just about Ripple. This is about the future of the entire industry in the United States. And so we hope that this can be constructive. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see where it ends up. But it's been very perplexing and very disappointing of U.S. leadership in such an important technology, which is now this is a $2 trillion industry and growing rapidly. So we gotta get our act together.
So absolutely, we got to get our act together. And there's been a lot of talk about, the United States is so far behind. So who really knows, how far behind we technically are? Because I mean, obviously, the U.S. may not be showing, all of their what's in their war chest or what they've truly been doing in regards of, adoption of kind of what's going on. But like on the surface and kind of what we've been seeing, I mean, it's evident that you're hindering the innovation. You're pushing people away out of the U.S. You're pushing this technology away. So he brought up some great points, and we talked a lot about it. The big thing is like, and here's my personal opinion is, who owns the power when it comes to these government agencies? Is the SEC, CFTC, like who is it? I truly feel like we need to have create a new branch or organization that's has a specialty in blockchain technology, that knows the ins and outs, and that can truly set a solid foundation when it comes to fair regulation, that, like how he said, that protects consumers and innovators. Like that's something that we truly need. And he was talking about, why are we referencing, some laws and regulations from 7 decades ago for a new emerging technology that's completely irrelevant? It's never been around. It's never been heard of. This is completely new. So we need, a solid organization that can, specialize in this area and fairly regulate this space to where it's protecting consumers, investors, innovators, so this space can flourish. And I truly agree with it. And quite honestly, the U.S. better get, their gear in shape, because we're going to cover some articles that's come out recently in our next video when it comes to Russia kind of going full steam ahead. And then you have other, countries and other entities that are fully, buying into the crypto space, Bitcoin, and everything crypto has to offer. So the U.S. definitely has to get the ball rolling for sure. But I wanted to throw that video up, and I wanted to end on this. It says XRP spikes 15.3% while 70 million XRP gets moved to Ripple's ODL corridors. So as you can see, the writing is on the wall. I mean, based on all the knowledge and all the information we have out there when it comes to research and, on-chain analytics and when you look at solid people like Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, Chris Larson, and, Ripple and just everything that's surrounding Ripple and XRP, it's just a lot of positivity. Okay. So it's quite evident that, people see where this thing is going. They see the value in XRP. Yeah, there still may be a lot of haters out there or whatever the case is, but that's okay. Everyone's, entitled to their own opinion, and, it is what it is. It's either going to buy in or they're not. I have high conviction on Ripple and XRP, and I truly see, the future for this thing. So I'm going to continue to hold, continue to accumulate, and ride this thing out. But with all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.